watching the book, another movie, FLAWED movie review tonight by Haunted State, by the way. And remember to subscribe to my channel. I'll put it at the bottom of this. So anyway, so the movie, I finished watching this about 40 minutes, about 45 minutes ago, half an hour ago, whatever. And the film is Raise the Titan. I've just been watching this. I enjoyed it. Really good film. It's not like perfect. It's not. And this is set. And this film was set before James Cameron Titanic. 17 years before, actually 17. About 1980, this film was, and I really enjoyed it. Of course, you see my Blu-ray update. I showed it on there, and I didn't realize I was going to film a review of this, but then I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to watch this tonight, and we'll do a review afterwards. And it was good. It's not perfect. It's got some cool effects in it. I like the ship in it and stuff like that. And it starts actually. Alec Gibbs makes a brief appearance in this. He's not in it for long. He's in it for about 2-3 minutes, and that's about it. But yeah, good film. It's not perfect, but like I said, it's pretty good film the way they did it. Because this is set before. Actually, this is before they fight. Like I said before, this is before they fight in the Titanic and the original ship before they actually fight it in half. So in this film, it's actually in full. So it's daft, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's actually different. It's actually different. I remember it because I thought they put balloons in the ship, but they don't. They kind of blow the bottom of the ship up and the sticks things at the side and they raise it like. And that's the last part of it. So, so what is it about? So it's about this it's about this material that they got on Titanic, right? Of course, Russians are after this material. As the story goes, of course, they're after the material. These people, these Americans, and of course they want. Of course, this guy comes up with this idea about raising the Titanic, and the guys in the room like I'm thinking, it's a good idea. Let's raise the Titanic. It's like. They don't think about it. They think this is impossible. Like they just kind of go, you know what? Let's do it. So it's kind of like oh, okay. They didn't really take much persuading to raise the Titanic. I'm thinking, And the film's flawed as hell, because you think, well, how is that even possible? Because if they raise the Titanic, it's just going to sink again. Actually, you know the funny thing is, I thought the ship was going to sink again because in my head, right, I'm thinking it's going to sink again because I'm sure it sank again in the film. But anyway, so. I won't really tell the story, but so what they're gonna do is raise the Titanic, stick these bloody blow in the part of the film, blows at the bottom of the floor up a little bit where the Titanic is to raise it, of course, and they've got these things attached to the it's kind of like it's a strange storyline. I'm thinking, how the hell are they gonna do that? How's that even plausible? But because in my head I'm thinking. I'm sure they stick balloons to the Titanic, red balloons, and the raise it that way. That's what I thought happens. Then when I watched it, I thought, oh, okay, and it didn't happen that way, but I remember it happening that way. But yeah, it's a good film. I did enjoy it. I remember I had it on VHS. Actually, I think we've still got it on VHS. Actually, I'm sure we've still got the film, but I think we had it in. I think my mum used to keep it. My mum or dad used to keep it in the bedroom, or was it in the where the TV, I think it's actually where the TV was, where we used to have like the TV and we used to have like VHS tapes down there. But some films used to keep in their bedroom, like the Alien film, because they were a little bit violent, of course, to watch. But yeah, I watched that years later, that film Alien. So yeah, but it raised the Titanic, and I remember having it on VHS, and I knew I liked it because I liked the concept of this beautiful, this big ship, that sank in 1912 being raised up again. And it was a good film. I enjoyed it. It's not perfect. It's not like freaking James Cameron Titanic, but in a way, it's more entertaining. It's not a love story. It's more drama, thriller. So yeah. But yeah, it's good effects. It's got, like I said, it's got Alec Guinness and actors on. It's got a few pretty work. Anyway, so when they do go down to the bottom of the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, right? They do look for it, of course. The problem is it kind of like throws a few hurdles in their way, of course, because some of the people that go down in these subs right actually get killed in it. What happens? They go down in the sub, right? Of course, there's like a leak in the sub. Of course, the sub kind of implodes with what's that word called? Implodes with explodes on the inside. Of course, tragedy straits. Of course, the funny thing is they don't really talk about the people that died, and they kind of go, oh well, they died, the expendables, so yeah. So anyway, later on, he kind of has an idea that shit could be further down the ocean, further where they are, about 10 miles, I think he says, to where they are. Of course, they go down that way. Of course, they do find it later on in the film. Of course, they have a few more hurdles along the way, of course. And when you do see it, you think, oh, there it is. It's pretty cool, actually. Actually, in this, like I said, in this film, it's set years before they actually found the Titanic in real, and that's the reason why it's in full. You know, it's in full. So, which is a shame, really, but it would have been kind of interesting if they actually somehow raised it in half. I think if the ship was in half and the raised both sides, it would have been actually more plausible, but it would have been better somehow. I don't know how. Got some glue to stick it together and just raised it. That would have been over the top. But they actually made a Titanic 2 and looks friggin' awful. But yeah, this is much better film than Titanic 2. But yeah, I might actually see the Titanic ghost film, like a scary ghost film like the Titanic, where it's these people on the ocean and stuff, and they keep seeing the Titanic ship right from. It was kind of scary and creepy and cool at the same time. But anyway, back to the film again. Anyway, so they find the ship, and of course, and they have another problem with the subs, because when they send these things down, these like, I don't know what they are like, to put aside of the Titanic, these freaking, I don't know, things to raise it, stuff, I don't know. Anyway, so like I said, the film's a bit odd, the storyline, but of course one of these submarines get trapped gets trapped to the bottom. Of course, when that happens, right, the guy in it says, you know, we're going to raise the Titanic, and actually, because that's the only way they can get that off the bottom is actually raise the Titanic to get them off the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, and of course it does. Of course, when they do that, it's pretty cool actually, because it's like a big explosion mine. Of course, they have these computers on. You see the Titanic on the computer on this like, and then first of all the explosions start, right, and next minute it's like the ship doesn't move at first, but next minute, I think the sensor things actually, they have these sensor things at the bottom, I think, because you see the ship at the bottom not moving, then there's like another two explosions, and next minute the ship, you can actually see the ship left a little bit on the screen. And next minute, I don't know how this is possible, the ship just like, it's like travelling up super, it's like it's just swimming up like the ship is like, and I'm thinking to myself, how's the hell is the ship doing that? It's cool the way they did it actually, it's like, and I thought, oh, I'm sure that's, and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm sure the ship like drops back down again, I'm sure it does. But anyway, it's cool the way you see the ship pop up out the ocean and stuff, it just comes up right, and the music starts, Fingers music, it's da da da. And it's so cool the way they did that. It's like a big model and stuff the way they did it. It's pretty cool actually. They don't use CGI in this film, it's like model. Actually it looks better without CGI, I think. Actually if they ever remade Raise the Titanic, I'd love to see a remake of this, it'd be pretty cool. I don't think they will, but it'd be kind of fun to watch. I like the way there's, cause like I said, they have this stuff, this material stuff like the Russians are off this date, I don't know. It's got actually it's not a bad story to it. It could. I like the way they kind of the only way they can get to that stuff is by freaking Raise the Titanic, which is kind of a bit over the top, but hell, of course it kind of gets patient. But of course I won't spoil too much of the storyline, but let's just say it's not quite to where it's not what they expect us to say. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the way when the ship does resurface on the ocean, right. I like when they go on the ship, right. It's pretty cool the way they actually replicated the whole, you know, the ship itself, the inside of the what's it called, the diner. I think it's the diner with the stairs coming down. You got the big room, like on the James Cameron film. You got the stairs going up. There's like a dining part. Of course, there's nothing there because it's all frigging wet, and all the water's just coming down still. And I like the atmosphere the way they did that, because you actually the way they replicated the ship from the Titanic. Pretty cool the way they did that. I was impressed with the way they did that. Pretty cool. Actually wasn't far off what the ship actually looked like from the inside. It wasn't far off. I think the film bombed at the cinema actually. I'm not sure I made it. I'm not sure how much it did at the cinema. I might need to look up that. Sorry, I'm a little bit unsure actually about that. So yeah, good effects. Some of it looks a bit out of date now, but still impressive. The ship design and stuff like that. Actually, the thing about the ship, one of the funnels on the ship is actually missing, of course, which is the rest of them. Actually, there's like one missing, right, and the rest of them are like in perfect order. It's like perfect thing. So yeah, I don't know if you can see the picture, but it's like one's missing and stuff. It's not, like I say, it's not perfect. It's daft as hell, but you know what? The films are pretty good on it. The effects are really good, and actually, it's not a bad storyline. It's daft, but at the same time, it kind of works. Don't know how. Like I said, I think it flopped at the cinema, but I think if they did it now, if they did it like when the Titanic, fine. I think the film would have done better at the cinema. Maybe I'm just, you know, because I'm not sure if it was that popular at the time, Titanic. You know, but it's just a ship that. Of course, I think it became more popular later on. I'm not sure. That's the reason why it flopped. I'm guessing. So yeah, I've always found the Titanic's. Hang on, see if I can get it here. I've always found the Titanic storylines fascinating. I've always found it interesting stuff like the Titanic. I just love it. I think you don't see it there actually. Got a little thing inside there. So yeah, I've always found it fascinating. I think what really got me into Titanic is probably James Cameron's Titanic. I think because when I watched the film, I thought, what a good film. You know, it's not perfect. It's still a good film though. I mean, the guy put his heart and soul in Titanic. James Cameron did, but this guy did a pretty good job. I'll say, yeah. So yeah, good solid performances, good music, and I think the music is probably the most memorable thing about this film. It's just great. I remember when I first watched it, when I heard that music, I went, wow, that's pretty good music, that is. When the ship comes out of the ocean, it's like freaking being raised, you know, like. And the last part's pretty cool when they tow it back to New York, which it was meant to go to New York in the first place. And as if it's turned up late at New York, it's like, oh, about time. You're a bit late, Titanic, you know. It's like on Ghostbusters when the Ghostbusters 2 when the Titanic turns up, and the Titanic turns to oh it's a bit late now, and it's like oh you know so it kind of reminds that scene. I don't know, it's just weird. So you see the Titanic like being dragged to New York and you think wow, but I know you can see people outside like waving to it. Oh, you know, it's pretty cool actually. Like I said, it's a pretty good film. I like that. That last bit was pretty cool. You see it turn up at New York and stuff like that. So yeah. And it's a bit of a twist at the end where the stuff is that they're looking for the what's it called? That remote, you know, the material that they're looking for. They're looking for some stuff, and of course, it's a bit of a twist where it is. Of course, it's not where they expect it to be, but yeah. I think I'm trying to see who's in it. Like I said, good effects, good storyline, good music. But I still think the favourite things about the favourite thing about this film are one, the effects. The ship itself is fantastic, and the music. I think the music is probably the best thing about this film. And it's just a good film. I like it. It's not perfect, like I said. It's daft the storyline, but it works. They make it work somehow. I don't know how, but it's daft. It doesn't look shitty special effects. It looks really good the way they go on the ship itself, and it's actually replica of the original ship. It's pretty cool. And a decent cast too, so yeah. So the rating I'm going to give this film, it's not a long one, is a 8 out of 10 because I enjoyed it. It's really good. I was about to give it a 7, but you know I think it deserves an 8 because of the effort they put in the film, the effects and stuff like that, and the fantastic music. And the song itself gets an 8 out of 10. I like the music to it. It's great. So yeah, John Barry's music, of course, it's good. It's very good. It's very good. It's just great, you know. Very good film, by the way. So if you've never seen it, check it out, people. 8 out of 10. Yeah, baby. So anyway, people, remember to check it out. It's a good film. So, anyways, remember to subscribe to the channel. Have a nice evening, and that's it. I'm also going to say raise the tit, of course. So I call it like raise the tit because it's like Titanic, it's short for tit. So yeah. Raise the tits, Titanic. So, remember to subscribe to my channel. Have a nice evening and take care. Bye.